The prophet Hosea spoke these words, "My people are destroyed for the lack of the knowledge of God." And still today, these words ring true. Introducing W.C. Hunter, pastor of the World Church of the Living God in Chattanooga, Tennessee. For the next half hour, we invite you to experience the Words of Knowledge broadcast.
The voices of the children, my family and my home, 'cause you're the source and finish of my highest dreams. Oh, Jesus, you're the center of all my joy, 'cause all that's good and perfect, I know it comes from you, 'cause you're the heart of my contentment. You're my hope for all I do, 'cause Jesus, you're the center of my joy. Jesus, you're that center of all my joy, 'cause all that's good and perfect, I know it comes from you, 'cause you're the heart of my contentment. You're my hope for all I do, 'cause Jesus, you are the center of my joy. Jesus, you are the center of my joy. Jesus, you are the center of my joy. Jesus, you are the center of all my joy. Jesus, you are the center of my joy. Jesus, you are the center of all my joy, 'cause you're my joy in my sorrow. You are my hope for tomorrow. And when I'm lonely, feeling sad, you are the lifter of my head, 'cause you're my music, you're my song, you are my joy all day long. Oh, Jesus, you're the center of my joy. Of my joy.
I definitely want to say happy 80th birthday to our bishop, to my grandfather, because that is a blessing for God to allow him to have that much time. That is a blessing, and we should all be thankful for it. This Hosea 4:6, and it reads, "My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge," for the lack of not understanding what God has said about your situation. Destroyed. And if you don't take the time to understand, think about this. I say this all the time. Think about it. All these ministers up here. They do all that they can to help serve the people. Their hearts are pouring out. Do y'all think they just woke up one morning and God said, well, they want to do my work. And they just knew the word, knew everything, knew how to conduct it, just knew it. It just jumped into them like a magic pill or something. No, you have to put the work in. You have to sit and read and study and really get a real understanding. It seemed like, I'm trying to do what God wants me to do. You're going to have to put the work in. The only thing you don't have to do any work for is that salvation. Salvation, you don't got. He already did it. But if you don't apply these principles to your life, you're in trouble if you're a child of God. Because if you're a child of God. Because we playing by a different set of rules. The world got their own rules. You can try, if you're a child of God and you try to play the world's game, This Hosea 4:6, and it reads, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, and I will also forget thy children. Think about that. If you are a parent, if you have children, a lot of how you conduct yourself is going to have an effect on that child's and how his life turned out. I will also forget thy children. Turn to Songs of Solomon. Look at this. This is in Songs of Solomon. Now, if you read this whole, I'm just going to read this one verse because I thought it was a good example. Because you look at this and this is like a little love story if you read the whole thing. Like a love story, and they are talking back and forth to each other. But this verse right here, this is Songs of Solomon 2:15. Just this one verse right here. And it showed me, they're talking about that love story, but you can apply this to every part of your life. Songs of Solomon 2:15, and it reads, take us the foxes, the little foxes, that spoil the vines, for our vines have tender grapes. Now what they're saying, basically, I got an analogy. Anything, the foxes, anything that is getting in the way of our love, let's get rid of it. Our affection, but that's how you have to look at your whole life. You have to have enough courage to say, whatever is not lining up and allowing me to line my life up with the word of God, I have to have the courage to get rid of it. I have to have the courage to be done with it. And a lot of people get stuck in a cycle for years and years and years at a time. Their finances are torn to pieces, destroyed for the lack of knowledge of how to handle finances. Health torn to pieces because they won't make that decision that they know they need to make. You can't be that way. You got to get a real understanding of what God has said and walk in that. That's how He's going to lead you. Let's turn to another. Ephesians 4. Because too many people, so many people, wonder why their lives are not blessed. They won't take and nip something in the bud. When you see something, when you see a situation, when you see your son, you see your child walking around and you see selfish and lazy right off the bat. You see it. But you're just going to act like that ain't the case. Act like you just got a bundle of joy. That child going to grow up and be selfish and lazy. When you see a situation, quit. If you don't do it, who's going to do it? If you don't care about your own life, who's supposed to care? There got to be some responsibility. And that's part of growing up and becoming mature in the word. And if you just got saved yesterday, take your time. But if you've been saved for 20 years and you blaming somebody else for your life falling apart, come on, man. Come on. Turn to Ephesians 4 and 26. When we read this, look at this and look at it in two different ways. I'll tell you how I look at it. Look at this. Ephesians 4 and 26. Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. Now, most people look at that as, well, if I'm going to get upset about something, I just make sure I don't do nothing. Really? He's saying don't let it go down on your wrath. When you get angry, or righteous anger, and you see some things are messed up, you don't need to go to sleep. You need to deal with it right then. You need to handle your situation then. Not, well, I know that this is, it made me angry because I know this is wrong. I know this is not finna be in order. I know this is not going to get fixed until I address it. Got situations happening and just acting, me and my wife just falling apart. But I'm going to act like it just don't even exist. No. You need to address it then. There are a lot of things in your life, and your life would unfold so much better, and you could walk in the blessings if you would address the difficult things. It takes courage, though, instead of acting like they don't exist. Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. And this is the thing. Neither give place to the devil. And so many people do that. You have to address situations. People end up divorcing everything, starting off with one little thing. Let it build up. Build up. When you see something that's out of line in your life and not lining up with the Word of God, you have every right, and it's really your duty to say, hold on. No, my house finna be in order. My finance, because God said it should be. Not, well, it'll fix itself. My wife will fix herself eventually. No, we're going to have to talk about it. We're going to have to get an understanding with one another. Instead of walking around looking mad and crazy at each other. She going to come to her senses and all. We're going to be waiting a long time, man. Long time. When you can actually sit down and approach the situation as soon as you see it, as soon as you have understanding of it. Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath, neither give place to the devil. Because if you give him an inch, he's going to take a mile. You got to be aware of that, though. And it's not anyone else's fault. Part of growing spiritually and maturing, just think about it. If you have children and you teach those children, your goal is for those children to be able to grow up, stand on their own. Who wants to raise a child? Now, I'm not putting nobody down or nothing, but who wants to raise a child and your whole goal is for that child to grow up and live in your basement? That ain't what you want. You want that child to be able to grow up, flourish, and blossom and move forward. That's what it should be. If you are growing spiritually and mature, it shouldn't be everything happen. Get Bishop on the line. Oh, that ain't what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be trusting God. He's guided you and direct you into the path. You're supposed to be able to move on that path. That's the point. No, I don't know. That's heartbreaking. You might think it's a compliment, but that's heartbreaking. Tell me anybody in here that's really looking for their children to grow up and go nowhere, accomplish nothing. sit around waiting for you to get home and cook them dinner, a grown man. Man, get real. Neither give place to the devil. Let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands, the things which is good, that he may have to give to him that needed. Everybody's supposed to be in a position that you can give, that you can apply these principles to your life. And that's the thing. Well, to be able to look at people and say, I know they can handle themselves. They in a point where they actually can do the giving. Even if it's financially, you can give a word of advice. You can manage yourself from being taught that you can manage yourself. You can, not saying you got to go around and get no church or nothing, but somebody need an encouraging word, you can give them one. Somebody need $5, you can give it to them. Instead of it always the other way around. I just need them. You got to mature. You got to stand and be a real soldier. Understand that there's a war that really is raging. And if you don't get equipped and understand the word, and you don't understand what you battle with, how you going to fight? Or is it that if you want to stand behind somebody and let somebody else do all the fighting for you? Just have to ask yourself. Neither give place to the devil. Let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands, the thing which is good, that he may have to give to him that needed. Turn to another. Turn to James. Look at this. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be, look at these little principles that he gives you. This should be part of your personality. And you can ask yourself, is this me or am I the exact opposite of this? Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath, for the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of God. Them just some principles, just to add to you. And it's for you to be able to understand people too, because in order for you to have that walk, you're going to have to be able to understand other people as well. Pastor Waller was just saying, you're going to have to actually understand somebody else. If you don't, you're going to be all over the place. Oh, they don't like me. They don't. You have to be able to compare it to the word. 21st verse. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engraved word, which is able to save your souls. Save your souls. Everybody believe the word for salvation, but seem like they get out to, I don't know about that. When it comes to the principles, you have to believe them the same way you believe you saved. It's the same book. If you believe you saved, you got to believe these principles and apply them to your real life and your day-to-day life. Not once a week when you go to church. I went to church. Get right out and do the exact opposite of what was talked about. This is not harsh. Y'all looking at it, ain't it? 22nd verse. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. That's bad. It's almost nothing worse than somebody lying to themselves. Going around just telling lies. Oh, I'm a fantastic wife. I'm just this. I ain't cooked in 10 years. I'm a wonderful husband. Oh, I just love it. We living down at the homeless shelter. Come on, man. Tell the truth to yourself. Tell the truth to you. You can get some help. You can move forward if you tell the truth to you. Like, Lord, Father, help me. I know I'm selfish. Lord, I need you to help. You can get somewhere. Sitting there acting like it don't exist, get nowhere. But be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty, and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of what? The work. Everybody wants to, it's going to take work for your life to have a blessed life. But whoso look into the perfect law of liberty and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deeds. You want to have a blessed life? You want your deeds to be blessed? He just told you how. He just gave you the principles of what to apply. He just told you. You're going to have to believe that God will do everything that he said he would do for you to line yourself up. Flip over real quick. Turn to James 1, just page right before. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, not wavering, for he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. Let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. In order for you to even apply these principles, you're going to have to believe and trust that God will do what he said he would do. This is Proverbs 3:27. Withhold not good from them to whom it is due, when it is in the power of thine hand to do it. Say not unto thy neighbor, go, and come again, and tomorrow I will give, when thou hast it by thee. Everything that you do in your life, you need to apply that to it. If you can do it now, if you can get things straight and handle situations now, what are you waiting for? Who are you waiting up? What are you waiting for? And he's not going to line up to you. You're going to have to line up to him. But you're going to have to understand that. We're going to read one more. This is in 2 Kings. We're just going to read this one verse. I was just looking at this a minute ago. We'll close with this. 2 Kings 3:15. We're going to close with this. And this is just an example of anything and putting forth the effort, even especially if sometimes you may not have all the ability yourself to do everything that's lined up. Some things God really going to have to give you the strength to do. But it's about digging the ditch, putting in the work and actually trying. Too many people just sit back and wait for somebody else to battle for them. And as you become mature in the word, you're gonna have to battle. You're gonna have to get on the field. You're gonna have to say, Lord, let me off the side, get in the game. We're just gonna read this one verse. Two verses. 2 Kings 3:15. Read. But now bring me a minstrel. And it came to pass when the minstrel played that the hand of the Lord came upon him. And he said, thus saith the Lord, make this valley full of ditches. You got to dig some ditches. You got to get some stuff. You got to put in some work if you want a blessed life, you're going to have to put in some work. That's all there is to it. If you want your marriage to be blessed, you're going to have to you're going to have to send some flowers. You're going to have to take some vacations. You're going to have to do some work. It's going to have to be something, not just, well, it's just going to be great. Not if you don't put any work in, it's not. If you have a business, you start a business, if you don't put any work in, it's not going, this is just going to flourish. I'm just trusting God that it's going to flourish. But I'm going to stay home and sleep all day. And then I'm going to wake up and pray and go back to sleep. You're not going to get in. You're going to have to put some work in. And sometimes things might be out of your reach, out of your grasp. You got to bring that water. Look at this. We're going to close with this. And he said, thus saith the Lord, make this valley full of ditches. For thus saith the Lord, ye shall not see wind, neither shall see rain. Yet that valley shall be filled with water, that you may drink, both ye and your cattle and your beast. That's how your life can unfold if you dig that canal. If you are willing to do that. If you're willing to take responsibility for how your life has been unfolding. Lord, I've been doing this, I've been doing that. That's why I'm in the situation I'm in. Not, it's somebody else's fault. Or my mama didn't hug me a lot. That's why my attitude stink. Well, you actually start taking responsibility for you. That you actually start looking at it and say, Father, I'm going to be responsible. I'm going to handle my affairs according to your principles and get the results. And I hope that everybody in here will take a little time just kind of reflect on yourself. Look, not if you're going to heaven or hell or any of that, but look at your real life. My life is in this fashion because of how I've been thinking. As soon as you start thinking it's somebody else's fault, say, well, I'm going on the wrong track. My life and everything that is going on in my life come from my thinking, my actions, me not applying the word, me not understanding what principle belongs where. Lord, give me the strength to fix it and change it, and the understanding and care enough and have enough courage to start walking in the real principles, to start walking in what you have outlined in the word, so that my life can be blessed, because that's the only way that's going to happen. And that's the message for today. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.